Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleach Brave Souls, and guys, if you've logged into the game today, you may have noticed that the latest information for the next summoning selection has been released, and to no one's surprise really, the characters that are coming up at the end of August, so tomorrow pretty much, are going to be Tag Team Renji, Tag Team Koga, and the man himself, Tag Team Ichigo. So this is pretty cool, guys. Anytime there's an Ichigo being released, it's hyped, so I'm pretty excited. I don't know how much I'll summon on this gacha because honestly I don't have a lot of orbs at the moment. But let's take a look at the statistics and abilities. And I'll probably put the gameplay footage on in the background on a loop so you guys can just check it out here and there or however you want to do it. But the information is all in game. And you know, honestly I question whether or not I still need to make these videos because you guys can read it for yourselves. But if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on the characters, feel free to continue watching. Alright, so let's start off with the Tag Team Ichigo. We have to take note that he is a power red character, so that's pretty nice. The only other red Ichigos that we have are the Visored and the Bankai, and those characters are grossly outdated, so it's nice to see an updated Ichigo in this particular attribute. Alright, so looking at the numbers, the standout number to take note of, guys, is the SP. He has 725 spiritual pressure, so obviously he's going to be a strong attacker. His normal attack, 634, isn't that high, so you're going to want to gear this guy for a strong attack all the way. Looking at the killer abilities, all tag team characters have double killer abilities, so he has Soul Reaper and Arankar, so that's interesting, guys, because it'll make him really versatile in PvE and PvP, because you know, any Shinigami is a Soul Reaper, so he'll have extra damage against any type of Soul Reaper character, and any Espada is also an Arankar, so he'll have extra damage against those characters as well. So that's very interesting, something to keep in mind when you're trying to decide which character you want to go for the most. This guy has great killer abilities. Looking at the special, seems to be a normal damaging special, nothing really, no status effects, nothing like that. And I should mention that I do like the way K-Lab has released this information. We get everything you need to know about the characters in a nice, neat little layout. So I'm loving it, guys, I'm loving it. And I like the fact that we're now getting surprised by the characters, and you know, we don't know a month in advance because of the JP being ahead. So you know, a lot of people don't like that, but I do, so it's fine with me. Anyway, Soul Trait, 20% strong attack damage, okay. That's very nice, that goes very nice with his 725 SP. And the attainable skills. Also, if you notice, guys, the attainable skills, they have the number values next to the skill name. So that's very nice to know as well. Because, you know, there's all different range of abilities. Sometimes long reach is only 10%, sometimes it's 20%, and the same thing for all the others. So it's nice to see the numbers actually in the game now. Long Reach, Havoc, Devastation, Bruiser, and Frenzy. Alright, so he does have Frenzy, and he's going to be a top tier strong attack unit in red. You know, there's another, if you look at the Oroichi that just came out recently, that's another character that's similar to this Ichigo, but I think the mechanics are different enough that these characters can be, you know, they can be like situationally used in different ways, alright? This will still be a cool character to have. Plus it's Ichigo, you know, everybody's hype about Ichigo. If you don't know what these are, guys, Long Reach is normal attack range, Havoc is strong attack range, Devastation is special damage, Bruiser is normal attack damage, and Frenzy is double hit strong attack. So very nice skill set for Tag Team Ichigo. He looks great, guys, not much more to say about it than that. If you looked at the gameplay, he also does have a very large vortex. So there's nothing really for me to criticize about Tag Team Ichigo. He looks amazing, guys, he looks cool, he's Ichigo. K-Lab never does Ichigo dirty, so this is no exception. Let's move on to the next character, which will be Koga. Alright, Koga is a technique character, green. It's interesting. If we look at the numbers, he looks kind of hybridish because he has the attack number and the spiritual pressure number kind of close together, but none of them is really super high. They're pretty solid, respectable stats. You know, you don't have a great spiritual pressure, you don't have a great attack, but neither of those numbers is terrible. So that's the way this guy goes. There's always a character in every selection that's like this. Looking at the killer abilities, he's got Soul Reaper and Captain. Wow, that's a really good combination, guys, because if you didn't know, those killer abilities will stack. So, you know, if you have a captain, like in PvP, for example, like I would put this guy up against Blue Kenpachi. He gets extra damage from Soul Reaper killer trait, and he gets extra damage from Captain killer trait, and he gets the attribute advantage. So this guy could potentially be the answer to destroying Blue Kenny. I mean, it's hard to destroy Blue Kenny. He's always going to be like a tough opponent, but this guy might be a viable choice for that. So keep that in mind. Let's look at what his special does. Muramasa restrains the enemy. Koga blasted with Tito, inflicting severe damage and burn. So he has a burn on his special, boss killer. Wow, guys, he has damage taken 20%, minus 20% for his soul trait. This is a damage reduction character, and a 20 damage reduction character at that. So that is amazing, guys. This guy might be the Blue Kenny killer. You can probably build him to be a pretty decent tank. He looks to have respectable defense, and yeah, I can't say his stamina is anything to write home about, but those numbers you can buff with like gear. So the fact that he has damage reduction built in is amazing. That's a great soul trait. Let's move on to the attainable skills. Bruiser 30%, Blast Zone 30%. So he has Devastation as well as Blast Zone. So those are 2 upgrades to his special. Bruiser is normal attack damage, and he has Frenzy. So yeah, it's interesting set of skills for Koga. It doesn't seem like he has that much, but all you really need is Frenzy, like these days. Frenzy will make him a strong attack beast. He has respectable spiritual pressure. I mean, it's not great, but he does have also pretty good normal attack. So you gotta balance it out, guys. This character will be good, no doubt. He might be a PvP, not god, but he may be very good in PvP because of the damage reduction and the double killer attribute, which is Soul Reaper and Captain. I can't stress that enough, guys. That's going to be amazing. And even if you don't use him for PvP, he's going to be useful as a link, because he's a green 20 DR link, and that can go on. You could put him in on a Full-Bring Ichigo, for example. You know, if you have an upgraded link slot for if you have an upgraded link slot for Full-Bring Ichigo, wow, this character would go really well into that link slot. So Koga looks great, Nothing really to criticize here. Let's move on to the third and final character. It will be Tag Team Renji. Hey, and Renji's one of my favorite characters. I don't really like Zabimaru that much, but you know, I can live with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at his information. So Tag Team Renji is going to be a heart character. Very interesting. The numbers, wow, he looks very similar to the Tag Team Ichigo that we just looked at. The spiritual pressure is 725, and the attack is kind of low as well, so 630 and 725. Let me look at Tag Team Ichigo again real quick to see how similar that is. I'm pretty sure it's almost exactly the same. Yeah, it's really similar. Tag Team Ichigo has 634 attack and 725 SP. Tag Team Renji has, whoa, I just skipped it. Sorry, guys. Tag Team Renji has very similar numbers. Wow, that's interesting. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see what the difference in their abilities will be. So Tag Team Renji is a Hollow and an Arankar killer. Those are decent killer attributes for PvE. The Espadas, guys, if you didn't know, they don't have the Hollow killer attribute. So that won't apply damage in PvP, extra damage to like Espadas like Okiora or Grimjo or whoever, or Nortura. But the Arankar ability will, so that's kind of good. It seems to me that this is a PvE killer attribute setup. Still looks pretty useful. Let's look at the special. Roar. Giant ball of spiritual pressure with great destructive power, inflicts severe damage that causes burn. Okay, great. So he's a boss killer, and his soul trait is strong attack recharge. So obviously, to me, because of the soul trait and because of the killer abilities, this character is geared for PvE, and he'll probably be pretty decent at it. Let's look at the attainable skills. Long Reach, Havoc, Devastation, Bruiser, Frenzy, and Sprinter. So he has Frenzy as well. Apparently all 3 of these characters will have Frenzy, so that's awesome. That's never happened before. A banner where all 3 characters have Frenzy. So it's very interesting. I don't know if this is going to be a new thing. Maybe Frenzy will become more common in the future. But I like it. This character seems to be very good. Be a very good character to use in PvE. He looks really similar to the Ichigo. Not gonna lie. Their skill sets are very, very close. I guess that's all there is to really say about these characters. I should mention also that Koga is ranged, guys. So keep that in mind as well. Anyway, characters look great. I like what they've done with them. Generally, I'm not a huge fan of tag team characters, but you know, my boy Ichigo's in there and Renji's in there. I'm gonna be somewhat interested. So let me know what you guys think. I know I rambled on a little bit, but there's a lot of information to go over. And if you want to look at this information in detail for yourselves, just go over to the in-game news and you can, you know, check it all out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.